And so if you let me put it together, we are living by the Holy Spirit. We have sacrificed our fleshly desires like Jesus the body. And that is how we become living sacrifices. But Paul says something else that I find incredible. He says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God. And then he says, which is your reasonable service. Reasonable service. The KJV, King James Version, and the NKJV only use the word reasonable one time in the entire Bible. Google it on your phone. And that signifies the uniqueness of this statement that Paul makes. Reasonable. This is the only time the NKJV and the KJV use this word. Reasonable. Can you think of any word that you have only said or only written one time? Nothing that Paul is urging us. Nothing that Paul is begging us. Nothing that Paul is imploring us to do is unreasonable. And he only needs to say that once. If I was to ask you to jump over the Schuylkill River for Jesus, that might be unreasonable. If I was to ask you to fly to the moon without a space shuttle, that might be unreasonable. If I was to ask you to fast 40 days and 40 nights straight without food or water, that might be unreasonable. But we are not being asked to do any of that. God is asking us not to cuss and fuss anymore. Out of this mouth should only proceed blessings and not cursings, and that is reasonable. When we come to God, we should have our yea be yea and our nay be nay. You shouldn't have to qualify what you say with, I swear to God. You shouldn't lie to us or to anyone else. And that's not unreasonable. Our hope and our trust should be in the Lord, and we do not need to worry about tomorrow. We do not need to covet our neighbor's possessions. We do not need to covet anybody else's position or anybody else's power, and that is reasonable. We are called to love. We are called to love, Miss Shirley. We are called to love our enemies. We are called to pray for, Miss Susie, pray for those who spitefully use us and persecute us. That's not unreasonable. And how can Paul make this statement this one time here in Romans chapter 12? It's because our God has been and is still so merciful to us. Because when Jesus came and offered himself up as our prized possession that we didn't even know we had, he became the ram in the bush when he sacrificed himself for us. God showed us mercy. And because he has been so merciful, it is not unreasonable to urge you to live for him.